Hey there everybody. In a previous video, I showed you how to install this bug guard right here. And I heard from some of the viewers that that bug guard made it so it was really difficult to close the hood. It gets in the way of the gap between the bottom of the hood and the top of this panel right here. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to adjust this latch right here in the center so that when you close your hood, it closes the way that it's supposed to from the factory, which is nice and gentle. You don't have to slam it really hard like this to get it to close anymore. Let's get started. All right, let's start with talking about the tools we're going to need really quickly here. This is a T30 Torx driver. You'll need to make sure you've got that size. You're also going to need a 5/16 wrench, something like this. And then a couple of panel removal tools. This little wedge is particularly useful for some of the fasteners we're going to be removing. And you're probably also going to need some cat's paws, something like this. And I will put a link to some of these tools down in the description below. We're going to start by removing these two T30 bolts. And then next there are these little fasteners here. There's I think 5 of them. One there, 3, 4, and 5. And these little fasteners are fairly straightforward to remove, and that's where this little panel removal tool is really useful. It's got a 2-part design for this fastener. And so you want to lift up the top part first, about a 1/2 inch or so. And then if you can get your panel removal tool underneath it again, you should be able to pull out the whole fastener. And this is what it looks like that. Now if this panel removal tool is giving you a little bit of hard times on one, this one's not coming up very easily, that's when you would use one of these little removal tools. And this just pulls it out nice and gently. We got that top raised up. Now we'll get underneath the lower part, get it started, and then we'll pull it out the rest of the way with this panel removal tool. There we go. All right, hurry and get the rest done. Okay, so now this panel is pretty loose, but it is still connected right here at the very front. There are a series of little clip connectors underneath here that clip into the upper part of your grill. Now the easiest way to detach these is to reach up underneath and feel the connector and pull it towards you while you lift up on this panel. See if I can demonstrate exactly what I'm talking about. So I can feel there's one right there, and there's 2. Okay, and I'll get you a better look at these when I've got this out. There's number 3. There's 4. And again, all I'm doing is reaching in and pulling towards me to release the tab that's holding that down, and I'm pushing up at the same time. Now 5's being sticky. Let's come back here. We'll do 6 next. We'll lift a little bit on the panel. There we go. Oh, and 5 came out too. Okay. Slide this panel out. And as you can see here, these are what these little clips look like. Okay, with that panel removed, next we need to remove this little bracket. And it just has one bolt on the right-hand side, and then a clip, just like the panel clips that we've just removed, over on the left-hand side. There we go. With those clips removed, we can pull that little panel piece out. All right, next with our 5/16 wrench, we've got this bolt right here and this bolt right here. So we're gonna loosen both of the bolts on either side. Now you don't need to take them all the way out. Just a couple of turns and it becomes loose enough. You can move this latch around. And you'll see there's play, both a little bit of play side to side and quite a bit of play up and down. So from the factory, these come set kind of in the middle of their travel. And once you put that bug guard on, you'll want to move them up almost as high as they can go. I'm going to set this one basically as high as it goes on this left side. So I've got this side tightened down just a moderate amount. I can still move the latch around a little bit. And so then I'm going to pull this right side up as far as it can go, and then I'm just going to push it back down, just a hair, like a 1/16 of an inch or so. And then we'll go ahead and tighten that one down pretty good, and tighten this one as well. Now we're going to try closing the hood, and we'll see how it does. Now, the way I like to close hoods is to bring it down until it touches that latch, push it down until that latch engages so I can't lift it back up again, and then very gently with my palms, just give it a little bit of a push to close it all the way. And this is not quite closing the way that I want yet. So this latch needs to come up a little higher. So we'll loosen this right side and we'll bring it up just another hair. It's probably hard to see on camera, but that moved a very slight amount. Okay, we'll try closing it again. And there it is. That's exactly the way that I like it. Okay, with this latch adjusted the way that I like it, I'm gonna go ahead and give these bolts just a little bit more snug down, make sure they're plenty tight. I don't have the torque spec for these. I'm sure it's not very much, but those are snug down. Using a little wrench like this, you can't put a ton of torque on them, but do be careful you don't strip them out. All right, so we're gonna put this shroud back on where it goes. Start with its panel connector on this side. I like to spin these around so the notch is easily accessible in case I ever need to come back in here and make another adjustment. Sometimes those little access notches are not put in the most convenient orientation on these. Then you want to make sure this goes underneath your cold air intake, and then just sits right flush with the top of your grill, and then you just push gently to lock in those tabs. It doesn't take much force. With that in, we can replace all of these. And finally, don't forget your 2 Torx bolts over on the cold air intake. And that's it, we're all finished up. All right, well, hopefully you can see just how easy of a job this is. If you've got a hood that's not quite latching properly, it literally only takes about 15 minutes to get this adjusted the way that you like. If you've enjoyed this video or learned a little something, you can let me know that you enjoyed it by hitting that like button down below. And you can always think about subscribing if you'd like to see more videos like this, but of course there's no pressure there. And as always, thank you very much for watching. And then we're going to put this plastic shroud back around the latch mechanism. And that's inside out and upside down and backwards. Let's try this way. That looks better.